couldn't find it. I've got your YouTube channel playing in the background.
Yeah.
There you go. We're live. We live.
All right, there we go.
Let's see, where am I? I've got Jeff Maxwell is up here with us. He's live in the studio tonight. And Aaron Carver is here with us, my producer.
All right.
And my producer back to radio
Aaron,
station is
Jeff?
My producer back at the radio station is Cowboy Joe. I got more people
All
than
right.
Oprah.
I guess you do, you know. Geez.
Hey, everybody, welcome. Welcome all the Facebook viewers to the barbecue show live here on Facebook. We'll be going to the radio station in just a minute. Our special guest tonight, Jeff Rice from Wisconsin, the purveyor of Deadbolt Barbecue of Wisconsin, a YouTube sensation. And that is who you are watching in the background on the big 72. And Jeff is with us on the telephone. Everybody, Jeff, say good afternoon to everyone.
Hello, good evening, and good afternoon, and good morning across the pond. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, doing good. Kent Vanderweed has joined us.
Nice. Hello, Kent.
Who's that ugly guy behind you? That's Jeff Ricer.
Well, you know.
That's funny. That is funny. That is funny.
Yeah, so you're doing a little assembly video, it must be, on that pit boss, it looks like you're showing.
Yeah, I've got I watched the new one.
Yeah?
I didn't watch it with the sound up. It was unique.
All right.
Unique.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just always things that come into my mind, when I'm doing, video.
The Martin Scorsese of YouTube.
Yeah.
Did you get it shared to Backyard? Good deal. Thanks, everybody. Everybody from Backyard Smokers Barbecue, welcome to the show. We appreciate you watching. Keith Bevington, how you doing, Keith? Hope you're feeling good. Everybody's good here in Ooltewah. What's up with you?
Yeah.
Hey, Tom.
I gotta say hi to
says,
Keith
Happy
myself.
Friday, everybody. We're doing a call-in show tonight. If you want to call in to the radio station, that's how you get in touch with the show here. You call in to the radio station. Our producer puts you on live, and we can hear you just fine. The number is 423-267-1023. And you can call in and ask questions of myself or Jeff. We hope we get a bunch of callers tonight. Make this thing a lot of fun. And we'll be taking your Facebook questions, too. Go to camera 3, Aaron. That's Jeff Maxwell there. He's up here monitoring the face chat, or the Facebook chat, rather. And he's going to interrupt when we have good Facebook comments. Steve Jordan has joined us. Hey, Steve, good to see you. Glad you joined us. Al Selvage is there. Al, Big Al, one of our best customers from the store. Appreciate everything you do for us, Al. Al's a good cook. He has the Pit Barrel and the Green Mountain Grill. He's a fan of my meatloaf. Ricer, you've done smoked meatloaf?
I did it one time. I haven't done it for a while. I probably should actually do a video on it. I like it. Turns out decent. I don't go crazy with a bunch of different seasonings or anything like that. I just kind of make it plain, and but it's pretty dang good. Looks pretty when it's done, that's for sure.
Yeah. We ought to try to do a double video of that somehow.
Okay.
We could do that.
Yeah.
We could do that.
What do you put in yours, Steve?
God. Egg, a cup of milk. What else? Onions, green peppers. That's about it.
Lipton onion soup mix.
I've never used that. I've heard about that, though.
That's what I've used. I got that from my
I
mom.
don't have the time to,
I didn't know your wife was in a video, Ricer.
Yeah.
There's one here. She's walking back.
She's
In fact,
there at the end of there.
if you put her in more videos, you'd have 20,000. You'd have 20,000 viewers.
Vice engineer telling the president the company's working
All right,
around
here,
the
Joe.
I think I
enough
would, yeah.
help
Hey, Joe.
the nation
Can you see us?
is nearly 2 million shots a day.
How we sound?
And
Good?
ABC News, Washington.
President
Sound good?
Biden says he hopes to
Perfect.
jump the
Good
number
deal.
of vaccinations to 50 million a day by spring.
Go ahead and turn
hours,
that feed down, Joe, so we'll
the
talk to our
president saying
guest.
he's confident that near a
Still with us, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm still here, guys.
Good deal. Good deal. We'll get going just in just a few minutes.
Yeah, she would bring the subs. She's just too embarrassed to do the videos. She doesn't like it, but then, she had to. She talked. Oh yeah, you never put me in any videos. Well, you said it, so there you are. Now you're in a video.
Let's see. David McKim's on the chat. Just started smoking some cheese, white cheddar. Have you? And what is your favorite cheese to smoke? Ricer, have you ever smoked cheese? I never have.
Yes, I have. I don't like a lot of smoke on my cheese. It's not that I don't like it smoked. I just don't like to really pound a bunch, but I have done it. Just with a smoke tube, though. That's it.
Yeah. So there you go, David. My good friend Frank Blair, who lives just around the corner from me, my partner in Allison's Barbecue on the cook team, he set his smoker at about 180 degrees to smoke some cheese one time. That didn't last. It didn't take long at all. It took more time cleaning it out of the cleaning it off the drip tray and the grates than it did. But the two little fingerfuls we got where the smoke was just perfect.
You live and you learn.
That's my boy Frank. Keith Bevington says, I've never smoked cheese. I'm with you there, Keith. I'm with you there. Of course, the biggest question on the internet tonight, what is Ricer drinking? A Schlitz ale. Schlitz ale. You guys up here drink funny things.
Well, that
Yeah,
came
they
back
come up.
a couple of years ago, didn't it?
Yeah,
You
Schlitz
up
ain't
on it.
really around anymore, but the they're picking on me because of my videos that I put some of this stuff
Oh,
in there.
okay.
I'm always drinking Corona, and then people are like, you live in Wisconsin with all that craft beer and big time breweries and all that. So I make fun and actually throw some take some duct tape and I relabel the bottles. There's Corona, but I relabel them, so.
To say
Sorry.
Blatz?
Yeah,
say
Blatz on
or
one
Point
video.
Or
Yeah, Miller Lite, and then the video that I did today that posted, I drank Schlitz Ale and Schlitz Porter. And there's no such thing, but we can pretend there is,
Frank Blair said, easy, boys. Neighbors are listening. We're getting ready to go live on the radio. I'll tell you a real quick story. Frank smokes Cheez-Its. Have you ever smoked Cheez-Its?
No, but I wonder if Kent in the convo there, I know he does some of
These
that
things
different
that
stuff
Frank
like that
smokes,
party mix.
these little Cheez-Its, they are unbelievably good. He won't give me the recipe. He can't do a pork butt, but he can do Cheez-Its.
Well, everybody's got a talent, right?
Yeah.
Main thing is having fun.
He bought a Rectech. His best friend starts selling
Oh.
Green Mountain Grills. He buys a Rectech. So what's that tell you? I'm still not over that.
He'll be coming back to you pretty soon.
How many ads do
you'll-
they
you'll
run in
be-
your videos, Ricer? You must be a millionaire.
Lots.
You must be a millionaire.
No, not quite. I when they have ads like this, it drives me nuts.
God.
I want barbecue ads in there, like when Lone Star Grills or something like that is in there. I'm fine, but all these other goofy ones drive me crazy.
Had some financial advisor on there a minute ago.
Yeah, it's like,
Everybody watching on Facebook, we'll be going live to the radio in just a few moments. You're watching the barbecue show live, the Owl's Nest Barbecue Show here on the Owl's Nest Barbecue Facebook page. And you can also listen to us on WGOW.com. Talk Radio 102.3.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Welcome to the weekend and welcome to The Barbecue Show with Steve Ray. The Barbecue Show is brought to you by the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop in Ottawa, by the historic Midnight Oil Service Station in Ottawa, by Michelin Tires, because so much is riding on your tires, and by all the great barbecue products and supplies at the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop. I know you've got questions and we've got answers, so pick up the phone, 423-267-1023, and let's talk some barbecue. That's right, it's the weekend and it's time to start smoking and grilling right here on the Barbecue Show live on Talk Radio 102.3 and on Facebook, the Owl's Nest Barbecue Facebook page. Go there or listen to us live right here on Talk Radio 102.3. Our number tonight is our first open mic. The phone lines are open. Cowboy Joe back at the studio is ready with his finger to push the buttons and get you on the air at 423-267-1023. Local, it's 267-1023. Out of the local dial-in area, 423-267-1023. You've got questions, and we have got answers. Our broadcast partner is Backyard Smokers Barbecue on Facebook, the #1 destination for question answers. And even if you want to post some pictures and do a little bragging, go to Backyard Smokers Barbecue on Facebook. Joe Varner, like I said, back at the studio. With me in the studio tonight, Jeff Maxwell, monitoring the chat live from right here in the studios of Owl's Nest Barbecue. And on the other side of me, Aaron Carver, our producer, on the Facebook side. We're in touch, so you be in touch. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And 267-1023. Pete, you hang on. Our special guest tonight, all the way from Wisconsin, is my friend Jeff Rice of Dead Broke Barbecue of Wisconsin. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm real good, Steve. How about you?
Oh, we're doing fantastic. We've got you playing in the background on YouTube, and we're going to have a bunch of callers lining up. It's open mic night, and I couldn't think of a better person to have than Jeff Rice, a man who has cooked on virtually every smoker possible, has cooked every protein possible. He is a top backyard barbecuer in the nation, and I mean that truthfully, Jeff. You do a fantastic job on your videos, and your information is always spot on.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Are you ready to take some calls?
Heck yeah.
Let's
I'm
do
ready
it.
Anytime. Let's go.
Pete, you are on open mic right here on the Barbecue Show Live. How you doing?
Hi, doing good, Steve. How you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for calling, man. What you got going?
I just want to know what your favorite wood is for smoking pork.
Jeff, I'm going to let you go first, and then I'll chime in.
Okay, well, typically I enjoy hickory.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
There, you're back, Jeff. Is that you, Pete?
That's me.
Okay, Jeff dropped off for some reason. We'll try to get him back. What Jeff was saying that he liked to smoke hickory. Now, Jeff, or Pete, I like to do oak. But I do oak on most everything. I like the subtle smoke that it gives. I like the aroma that it puts on the meat. You know, it's not a very strong wood. In the pellet smokers, it works good. Well, even when I'm doing my stick burning, Pete, I use oak, and the reason is I get a very consistent burn with oak. Now what is it that you normally like to use?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm an oak guy, so I'll do hickory too. But oak is so easily available down here. So
now, have you ever used the? You ever blended it with apple or anything?
No, never have.
Never have.
I just kind of have my smoking for camping wood and fire pit wood and smoking wood. It's all the same thing. So it's mostly oak. So
now what do you cook on?
I have a Yoder, a big about 700-pound Yoder smoker.
Now that's not the pellet, that's a stick burner, right?
No, this is old school.
Yeah. Where do you source your oak at?
Well, actually, I've been getting it from a guy just up from where you are, on Old Lee Highway. They're just out of Ooltewah, called I forget his name. Oh crap! Anyway, but it's a little guy. They only sell it in like $35 half ricks.
Mm-hmm.
Here on the road. That's where I get it.
Yeah. Okay.
Steve, I got to go. It's good. I enjoy being on with you. I hope you get Jeff back. And the only difference between me and Jeff is he makes videos and I don't. See you, Steve.
Thanks, Pete. Appreciate the call. Our number is 267-1023. We're going to try to get Ricer back here in just a second. I don't know what happened. He dropped off. I think it was on his end. Aaron's dialing him up right now. Go ahead, Aaron. You can dial him up. Our number is 267-1023. I've got Jeff Maxwell here in the studio with us. He's monitoring the chat as we are speaking. And from the chat, Steve Jordan says he likes to use cherry with pork, and he uses his pellet smoker as well. Cherry is a Steve, I've used cherry one time, and I was doing some pork butts, and Jeff, it's when we were doing that big cook over 4th of July or Memorial Day?
4th of July.
4th of July is when we were doing it. We sold pork butts, Jeff and I did, and I had 3 we couldn't fit on the big smoker, so I put them in the pellet cooker, and put cherry in the hopper, and I really did like the color of those.
Hello.
It turned it a real nice color.
Well, I like all the fruit woods actually with the pork. The apple, I like cherry, I like pecan.
Good deal. Hey, Robert, what's up?
Well, I got a question for you. I like to do ribs on the smoker, and I can never get them fall off the bone. They're either really chewy and tough, or I have to finish them in the oven because, I got a old style tube smoker, and 1 or 2 times I've been able to get them perfect, but since then, and that's like a 10 hour smoke job. And I just wonder how you get them fall off the bone after peeling the back off of them, the little strip off of them, and how do you get them fall off the bone every time?
Go ahead, Jeff. You can. This is right up your wheelhouse.
You can hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you can hear me now. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Well, what I always would say for anybody that wants to fall off the bone ribs is run them longer, and if you can wrap them a little bit, push it. I always say they're flexy. I like them when they're flexy. But if you want to go a little bit further, when you start grabbing them off the grate right in the center, if it starts to crack, you know that they're ready. They're going to fall off the bone. So it's probably just run them a little longer, in my opinion. If you run them too long, they're going to come, the bones are going to fall through. But once you start seeing that start to split, that's fall off the bone right there.
Now, Robert, do you wrap your ribs, Robert?
Help me a lot is, I cook them as far as the smoker will go with me if I'm just out of wood and stuff. And if I wrap them up in tinfoil and finish them in the oven, they turn out really well, just to give it extra heat, I guess.
Yeah.
And if you got time, can I ask you one more question?
Well, sure, Robert. Go ahead.
You guys do any venison chili on the smoker or anything like that?
I haven't. Ricer, have you?
I have a couple times. I don't hunt anymore because we don't live on the farm, but my friends are always very generous. We have tons of whitetail around here. And, yeah, I have. I smoke it just like a chuck, to be honest with you. Get it to 206-ish is kind of my pull temp on some venison. Get her nice and tender. Probe tender is what I look for. And then you can just cube it up and throw it in your chili mix, and it's incredible. It adds a lot of flavor. As far as the seasoning, You can do whatever you want. I prefer a lot of black pepper on it, so that actually gives a little extra bite naturally too.
I appreciate you guys' time. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it, Robert. Thanks for calling. Our number is 267-1023. We've got lines open right now. You're listening to the Barbecue Show live here on Talk Radio 102.3. Our special guest is Jeff Rice from Wisconsin, the purveyor of Dead Broke Barbecue Wisconsin on YouTube. A fantastic YouTube channel. And Jeff, the reason I had you come on because the number of smokers that you've cooked on is. Do you keep count?
No, I actually don't. No. I on video wise, I must be. It's over 10, 12 of them probably by now. But in my lifetime, I've had more. But I really can't give you that number. I'd have to sit down. I wasn't prepared for that question, to be honest with you.
You better be ready next time you're on this show. You understand?
Oh, that's just something that I don't. Unfortunately, the way I run my channel, I do a series on a cooker. There is some of them that will never leave, but some of them, after I've kind of used them and kind of gone through the ropes with them a little bit, there's people out there that need cookers. I don't just sell them to anybody or give them away to anybody, but there's people that can use cookers, and the box store ones, they're here for about a year and then they go to somebody else that needs one. But yes, I've had quite a few.
Now Kent Vanderweed is in the Facebook side of things, and he is asking, do you have a favorite cooker that you've used?
Yeah, I can finally say that. It's still, but if you would say one cooker that I could only live with, or I could only have one, and because of my family size of us four, I would always say a Weber kettle, because I can do anything and everything on a Weber kettle. Can I get a lot of protein in there? No, but I can get enough for every meal that we were ever going to eat. Mm-hmm. Now, as far as my favorite cooker, I will say it's probably the Pellet Pro 1190 that I have. It's a horizontal pellet grill, and I am not a brand person. I am not an actual equipment person. I like anything that does what it's supposed to do and do the job right. That Pellet Pro, you turn it on and it's running and it's going to hold temps and it's consistent from left to right. It's just a great cooker. Now, I have a couple coming in this year from Lone Star Grills that I am just incredibly excited about getting my hands on and start playing with them. So they might get replaced, but I have that. YouTube works in a real weird way, Steve. They've decided that I'm a pellet grill person. I can do a charcoal video and it gets 10 views. I do something on a pellet grill and it gets a lot of views. You don't really have your choice of destiny. And I prefer stick burners. It's my favorite. I don't have one anymore. I will have one eventually again. But I like messing with the pellet grills because pellet grills are really the future for a lot of new cooks. So, long story, that pellet grill that from Smoke Daddy, that 1190 that they have, is incredible. With that USA 2 controller, the new controller that they came up with, there's about an 8-degree swing, and that's about all I ever see. Maybe a maximum of 20.
You bring up a good point. I think when you say that the pellet smokers get the most attention when you put your videos out there, do you think that that's the nationally? I believe pellet smokers only account for 2 to 3% of the total grill sales in the nation still, and the room for growth is phenomenal, of course. And I just used my first one a year ago, and we sell them at the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply and Pro Shop here in Ooltewah. And I know that when you swap around, you seem to use a lot of pellet smokers. Do you think that's an indication of things to come for this type of smoker?
Oh yeah, I really do. And I had a conversation not too long ago. It was either on my Sunday night show or
or something, or I can't remember where it was, but it was something that I was a part of. And we talked about how pellet grills, what's the future of them. And with electronics and gears, your imagination is endless. You know, will they come up with a grill that is going to you flip your steak? Who knows? You know, but
Let's hope not.
I hope not. I hope it doesn't take all of the fun of cooking out of the hobby, because there's still you still have a lot of fun just learning how to render meat or what done temperature is, and how to run a fire, all that stuff. There's so many variables involved. But pellet grills, let's face it, the younger people, they don't want to. There's not a lot of time in their life, and that's chosen. But they want things that are simple, simplistic, easy, and they do what they're supposed to do.
Hold that thought, Jeff.
And
We got to take our first break tonight. Hold that thought. We'll be right back. We'll talk more about that, folks. It's open mic night here on the Barbecue Show Live on Talk Radio 102.3. We have got room for you tonight at 267-1023. If you're calling from outside the local dialing area, the area code is 423-267-1023. Our special guest tonight from Dead Broke Barbecue, Wisconsin, is Jeff Rice. I'm your host, Steve Ray. With us in the studio is Jeff Maxwell and Aaron Carver, and we'll be right back. So stay with us on the Barbecue Show Live on Talk Radio 102.3.
Back on the life that you're leaving, let it rest.
Doing good, Jeff.
All right, thank you, sir.
I don't know what
happened to my audio. I don't get it, because I could hear you fine. I talk on my headphones all the time. I have pod, so I don't get it. I start talking, and then boom, it was gone. Yeah. I don't know. Weird.
Can you hold the pod closer to your mouth a little bit? You sound a little.
My phone.
You almost like you may want. Can you just go to the phone? You think?
No, I'm on the phone now. I unplugged them. So
okay, good.
Maybe I'm having an issue there, so I'm just on my regular phone. So.
Okay, that sounds great right there. That's perfect.
Okay. All right. Sorry, buddy.
No, it's okay.
When I talk on the phone, I like to pace.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can pace.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm pacing. I'm pretty fast too. I probably did 6 laps around the house now.
It looks like you run a lot.
Yeah, I probably should actually do this all the time. Be on interviews and pace. I've gotten pretty chubby in the past 2 years of being a barbecuer. YouTube guy.
Brian, we have Brian on hold. When we come back, we'll be going to him. Everybody watching on Facebook, we appreciate you watching. A lot of people watching right now. David and Keith, will get to your comments and questions too, and we appreciate everybody watching on Facebook. Our special guest is Jeff Rice from Dead Broke Barbecue, Wisconsin. You always say that, Jeff. Is there another Dead Broke Barbecue out there somewhere?
No, there's not.
Okay.
I am Dead Broke Barbecue of Wisconsin is copyrighted in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go national. That's the step right now. So I've got a lot of things posted for that and ready. But it costs a little bit more to trademark yourself nationwide compared to just statewide.
I bet it does.
Yeah, I bet.
All of our 1/132nd of an inch snow has melted here in the Tennessee Valley. Closed schools for a day. And it was on your birthday, wasn't it, Aaron?
Nope.
Yep, snowed on Aaron's birthday. Aaron just turned 18.
Yeah. Nice.
Today. Jason Nathanson,
Going
ABC
back
News.
just a few seconds.
Oh.
Talk Radio 102.3.
All right, welcome back to the Barbecue Show Live here on Talk Radio 102.3 from Wisconsin. Our special guest from Dead Broke Barbecue, Jeff Rice. Let's go to the phones right now. Jeff, we have Brian on line 1. 2 lines open at 267-1023. Go ahead, Brian. What's your question?
Hey, guys. How you doing tonight?
We're doing great. Thanks for calling.
Good, man.
Good. Sorry about that. I got a question for you. I'm fairly new to the smoking game, but I've done chicken. I've done wings, but I've done a whole chicken on a ceramic beer can type cooker. I also have a rotisserie I haven't gotten yet, and there's spatchcocking. What's the best way to get a really crispy skin and a juicy chicken, in your opinion?
Go ahead, Jeff.
All right, so
chicken skin is tough. All right, that is tough. You get in the competition, they're looking for the bite through skin, and that's kind of done through a pan. But when I want a crispy chicken, when I smoke it, I put it in the refrigerator, and there might be some frowners out there, but I don't care. I always put the chicken back into the refrigerator for a little bit, uncovered, to let it air dry a little bit. That does help get some of that moisture off from it and dry out a little. Then it goes into the cooker, and I always try to give it a little bit of high, close to direct heat, and then I will back that heat off and then finish up for the meat. So if I want to get a little crispier skin, a lot of times it's almost kind of a sear it and then let it smoke out. Okay? That's my best luck, because I don't like rubbery chicken skin either. That's how I do it. I got a video where I do some quarters where I actually put them right on top of the flame and get that skin nice and crispy, and then pull it off indirect and finish them up.
Nice. Thanks. Do you find
Brian, anything like that? I'm sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Do you guys? Is there a difference between a rotisserie or a spatchcock or like a beer can? Is there?
It's probably just cooking times and different things like that. There could be, depending on if you're using it in the same cooker, well, there's not going to be a lot of difference. It's just going to probably cook a little different on each method. Okay, each method is just going to have its different times to finish. The spatchcock is if you're not looking to, you just want a chicken. Spatchcock is still my favorite way to do it. Okay. But rotisserie, it's always cool to have it run around in a circle and have those juices kind of roll across it. That helps, golden up some skin too.
Excellent. Thank you so much, guys.
You bet. Thanks, Brian. Brian brought up a good point, Jeff. He's talking about the different methods. I'm a whole chicken cooker. I cook mine on a pan with a cookie rack inside of it. But I'm going to tell you this about beer can chicken, everyone. It's a good way to cook a chicken is to put it on one of those beer can holders. But if you think you're getting any moisture from that can or that container into the chicken, next time you do it, look in there, and when you fill that container up with whatever fluid you want, beer, whatever you want, wine, whatever you use, and look at it when you're done. Guess where it's all going to be? It's going to still be in the container. None of it's going to evaporate. So that's kind of a misnomer about it vaporizes it from the inside. It just doesn't work that way. But it is a cool thing to set the chicken up and cook it at that angle. And I've done that. I've used a tool that I have to cook at that angle, because you can turn it around on the smoker, and like Jeff said, you can get that skin really crisp, because there's nothing better than, Jeff, there's nothing better than crispy skin on a rotisserie chicken. And that's what I call them all when you cook them in a smoker like that. But
I'm gonna tell you something here that you might not know, and I haven't. Just in case if I get busy, but I did a couple beer can chickens, and I actually I cut a potato.
A potato in the chicken.
Does that make sense? Yeah, right in the neck. Yep, just go right through the hole in the top there and plug it tight and try it. The one that I did, I was pretty impressed. It seemed to actually have a little bit more moisture inside the cavity. Okay. It's not penetrating through all the fibers. We know that, but that might be one way to enhance it a little bit. All right.
I'll wait till we're off the air to make fun of you. But hang on, Jeff. Jeff Maxwell's going to read a couple of the questions coming in off the Facebook chat. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay.
Speak right on that microphone, buddy. There you go.
Tom Ehid is asking about his thoughts on brining, basic recipe, and whether he uses dry versus a wet brine.
Go ahead, Jeff. That's a good question.
I'm sorry.
Did you not hear it?
You asked. Yeah, I didn't quite hear that. It was about what I use for a brine. Do I do?
Yeah. Do you like a wet brine or a dry brine? Tom Ides asking that.
I prefer a dry brine or salt brine, or salt cure, typically. On turkeys, I do the whole, wet brine a lot of times to add a little bit of different barbecue flavors, let's say. But typically, I would prefer just to coat up that whole skin with a bunch of salt and put it in, or, anything. Steak, I like to go overnight and all that stuff. So
I'm with you 100% on that. Do you when you do it? Do you? I like to salt the turkey when I'm doing Thanksgiving. I like to salt that turkey, just salt, nothing else to start out with. And I like to put it back in the refrigerator overnight and let it dry out, sort of like you do that that other one that you were talking about. Is that the way you do it?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it all depends. I do it all different ways, and you always like to show a different way in a video, especially when you only have 80 some. But my preferred way to do a turkey is to get her all ready, and when you put it back in, before you put it in the refrigerator, to start drying up that skin, throw a bunch of salt on it. It actually does help. It does help. And the only way you really get a lot of flavor in turkey meat is if you inject it, really. I mean, a wet brine will give you some flavor. It will give you some flavor. But it's not, again, penetrating through all the fibers and all that.
You're listening to Open Mic Night here on the Barbecue Show live on Talk Radio 102.3. Our special guest from Dead Broke Barbecue, Wisconsin, is Jeff Rice. Jeff, you got another question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Steve Dotson, the cooking coach, is asking you if you prefer pairing wine or beer with your barbecue, and which one do you use for wet protein?
That's some pretty culinary stuff now, Jeff.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm always, as far as beef, I would rather have wine with, like, beef, especially short ribs and stuff. Beer with steaks and like grilling food, it's probably going to be more beer. But when I'm smoking a brisket, I actually like a good glass of Cabernet or Pinot Noir and all those dumb goofy names. I can't think of them right now. I got about 15 bottles of wine sitting over here. I could go grab a couple, but
let's don't do that.
Real hot.
Let's go to that was Cookout Coach Steve Dawson. Let's go to a good question.
Oh, okay.
Let's go to a good question. David McKim asking on the Facebook chat, and you can call in too, everyone, at 267-1023. Lines open here in Chattanooga, 423-267-1023. If you've got a barbecue question for us here on the Barbecue Show Live. David McKim asking, do pellets have the same smoke flavor as a stick burner? That's a fantastic question, David, and I can't think of a better person to answer that than you, Ricer.
They don't. They do not have as much smoky flavor and not as much barbecue flavor, if that can, when you can compare the two next to each other, they don't. The best way that I can explain like a pellet grill, it's a clean, smoky flavor. It's very clean. It's light. There's a lot of people that aren't used to barbecue and smoke. So like people that eat stuff on a pellet grill, has a tamer smoke flavor. And I think that's always a great way for people to start out with their barbecue. Now, if they grew up and they've been eating it forever, well, they're probably going to say, it's a little light. Well, then you get like a heavy D insert and throw it in there and burn some real wood inside your pellet grill too. You can add a lot more smoke. But again, it's going to be lighter. It's not going to have as much, but it's good. If that makes any sense. Well, you don't have to worry about over smoking. I guess that's probably the biggest thing about a pellet grill. A lot of people that first start out and they're like in a Weber Smoky Mountain or they're in their kettle,
they'll over smoke meat, and it's a lot easier to do on a cooker like that than compared to a pellet grill. You're not going to over smoke anything off a pellet grill.
I tell you what we'll do too, Mike. When we come back after this break, we'll show you and tell you how to get a little bit more smoke in a pellet cooker when we return here on the Barbecue Show Live on Talk Radio 102.3 on our first open mic night. Your calls are welcome at 423-267-1023, and we'll be right back with Jeff Rice from Dead Broke Barbecue, Wisconsin. Stay with us. I got the volume here.
I don't know. There's somebody.
Okay.
Well,
Thanks for telling us, Frank. We appreciate that.
It's sometimes people are saying that, and I don't have any problem at home with hearing it, Steve.
Yeah, that's okay.
Typically, but
that's okay. Jeff, you can hear us okay, can't you?
Yeah, I can hear you. It just says turn Steve's audio.
Yeah, Joe, can you hear us okay back to studio? Yeah, Joe's giving us a thumbs up. Okay. We're good. We're good everywhere. We're good everywhere. Brian, you're welcome. Did you get your T-shirt, Brian? Sent a couple T-shirts out this week to some listeners.
Nice.
Yeah.
that was Brian Blondell on the phone there?
Mm-hmm.
I've known that boy since I was 5 years old.
Everybody on Facebook, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You can call in too on Facebook. All the people watching, just hit 423-267-1023. That call goes directly to Talk Radio 102.3 WGOW FM here in Chattanooga. Our producer is Cowboy Joe. He is back at the studio. Cowboy Joe and I worked about 23 years ago together for about 16, 17 years on the car show that I did on Talk Radio. We go back a long way. I remember when he had hair. I'm tough, buddy. I'm tough. Jeff Reiser from Wisconsin. What's the snow count? Did you say 12 inches?
Oh, we got over 12. We must have about 14 inches here right now, probably.
I don't see how you people live up there. I really don't. I really don't.
Tough Vikings, buddy. There's a lot of Viking blood up there.
There's a lot. That's why a lot of people are moving down here.
Yeah, I'll live. I won't be here forever, man. I get older. I'm done. We'll come here during the summer when it's always around 75, 80. That's the perfect time to live here.
Chattanooga, our little area of the state is growing like crazy. No income tax. That's nice.
I think I could fit in with all you people down in Tennessee.
Well, you fit right in.
All right.
We have a lot of people. We have a lot of people from up north that come down here and tell us how to do it. It's great. We're used to it. You know, I'm going to tell you what's funny. The entire morning crew on the talk show, on Talk Radio right here in Chattanooga, the entire morning crew, all three of the guys, one guy's from Michigan, one guy's from Chicago, and I don't know exactly where the other guy's from, but he's from up north too. So we have
brought to you by
three
N
guys
Family
from up north doing Talk Radio in the South.
Talk Radio 102.3 FM, the Talk Monster.
All right, welcome back to the Barbecue Show Live here on Talk Radio 102.3 with our special guest, Jeff Rice from Dead Broke Barbecue in Wisconsin. Jeff, we have a caller that called in, didn't want to go online, but here's a, and you will be better at answering this because you are more up on these ceramic cookers than I. What's better, the Kamado Joe, the Green Egg, or the Weber Summit? Excellent question.
I think you pay a lot for the Summit, in my opinion, for what's there. So that would be probably one that I would scratch off my list. I think it's a little pricey. I like the Kamado Joe. I think it's a good cooker. I'd probably go with the original, the Big Green Egg. That would probably be my choice if I had to pick from the three. I still think that is
a great cooker.
Okay, and I've had a green egg. I had one for a year. I personally didn't get it. I could not figure out why they're so popular. Hard to use. Setup took a long time. Took a long time for it to burn out, to be safe to put up. Not a lot of space on it, to cook. But I get it. If that's what you want to use, it's perfect. But let me ask you this, Reiser. With the up and coming pellet cookers, do you see the Kamado type of cookers, the Joes, the Green Eggs, and the Summits, and all the others that are out there? I think what's the Char Griller, the Acorn?
Yep.
I think that's a kind of a lesser priced entry level vessel. Do you think their sales will go down in the next years as these pellet cookers become? Because I know I've already seen a ceramic type cooker with a pellet attachment on it. Are the tables turning?
Yes, most definitely. In my opinion, the great thing about a ceramic cooker is that you can cook in the weather that I'm dealing with. Well, we got a little bit of a heat wave. We're in the plus now, but when it was like minus 17, that ceramic cooker is going to be able to handle that really efficiently. Okay, and it's not going to burn a bunch more fuel on it. The pellet grill is going to struggle in that really frigid cold, but let's face it, that's not all year long. The thing that I see with a pellet grill this is a flavor profile too, you have to remember, because there's people like me that love the flavor of charcoal. I like lump charcoal on a steak. I do not really think a pellet grilled reverse seared steak tastes as good as a charcoal reverse seared steak. But I will say, convenience wise, you can get running in about 20 minutes on a steak on a pellet grill. And how long does it take you to set up a Kamado Joe or a big green egg? It takes a little bit longer. You have to get that fire, and you got a little bit of vent adjusting. So I do think that the pellet grills will hurt all cookers. I think the pellet grill is going to introduce a much broader and a lot more people are going to be entering barbecue because of pellet grills.
I agree.
Okay? They're not going to be messing with a gas grill as much. I've told you this many times. I had a gas grill in the backyard for 10 years, and it never got a tank put on it. My wife bought that for me, and I actually gave it to my neighbor. Gas is not my style of cooking at all, but the pellet grill is going to take people that they don't have to learn fire management. They can just learn the cooking process, and then they're going to say, geez, I really want a stick burner. Now they know how to cook. Now they're going to learn the fire management. It's going to be a lot opposite compared to like yourself and me, that we had to learn how to, your splits on certain cookers need to be the size of your wrist, blah, 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 all this different stuff. All that extra variables are taken out of it. And even with a ceramic cooker, you still have to learn how to start that fire and manage that fire. So I really do think that pellet grills you're always going to have ceramic cookers. I think they're great, but you can over smoke a brisket very easily on a Kamado compared to to a pellet grill.
Frank Blair adding in that Kamados are overpriced for what you get, no matter the name. I know to get a full capacity green egg where you can cook a lot of meat on it, you're up in the $1,500 and $1,600 when you get all the accoutrements that go with it in a hurry.
Yep.
But I'm not throwing off on them. The pellet cookers are so much easier. And Jeff, one thing you said, and I really don't, I kind of disagree. I don't think people want to learn fire management anymore. I don't think they care anything about it.
Well, and I'll say that, but I think you're people that are really, they're going to I want to go to what the old people used to do, and I think you'll see more people go to more of a stick burner is what I'm trying to say. They're going to get into an offset cooker because they will really love this so much. And it's the offset's still going to be a status symbol when you're cooking on one. face it. That's where the cool guys are. That's where all the brains are. But I love it when people call a pellet grill a easy bake oven, because it is. It really is. But guess what? That has just made everybody that's in the barbecue industry another buyer or another person in there that they can sell something to, compared to just the gas. I have friends that are just starting to get into cooking and smoking. Okay, all they did before was burn some hot dogs and some brats and wreck hamburgers all the time. Now they're actually doing a pork butt. Or I have a friend that is actually did 2 briskets today, and a year and a half ago, all he did was brats and hamburgers. So it's fun to see what a pellet grill can push these people to actually enhance and amplify their backyard barbecue fun.
All right, hang on. We got a question coming in on the phone before we take the last break. Ray is on line 1, 2 lines open at 267-1023. Go ahead, Ray. What's up?
Hey, guys. We run, me and my father-in-law, we have an egg, we have an offset smoker, we have an electric smoker. I just bought my first Traeger. We love them all, man, but you just can't beat that stick. You just can't beat it. I don't care what anybody says, and I agree. I think we're going to go back to the stick before it's over with. That campfire cooking.
Yeah. Now the flavor is totally different. I agree with you, Ray. And,
yes, sir.
My favorite. People ask me what my favorite thing to cook on is. I've got a Myron Mixon water cooker, 48-inch. It's a stick burner, and it is by far my favorite vessel to cook on. If I had to get rid of one or keep just one, that would be the one I'd keep. You're right. You're right about that.
What was it called again?
Myron Mixon 48-inch water cooker.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up. We're looking into a new one, and we want a huge one.
That's big. It's big.
That's the one.
Thanks,
yes,
Ray.
Sir. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You bet. Mike's on line 2. 2 lines open at 267-1023. Go ahead, Mike. What's up?
Hey, guys. I was just wanting to get your opinion. I come in late on the show, but, when I see people cooking with these smokers that are propane or electric, and they just put wood chips in them and stuff, I just don't feel like that's barbecue. I prefer the whole hog cooked on a pit where you burn the wood down into the barrel and shovel the coals in there. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but that's where I was taught. That's where you get the cue. You cook the fat meat, and the fat drips right on the coals.
Well, yeah, that's the ultimate method, Mike. But who's got time to do that?
Okay. Well, I know. I just didn't know how y'all felt about that, because you're talking about the offset smokers, and some people's told me you can only get the meat's going to only take so much smoke after so many hours, but I don't know if he's ever that up in Madisonville at the ham store at Benton's, it's like old smoked, and that's the smokiest meat I've ever had in my life. It's almost too smoky.
Yeah, well, that's a different process.
But that's all I had. I just wanted to know how y'all thought about the cooking on coals, and I'll hang up, and y'all have a good night. I appreciate it.
Mike, thanks for listening to the Barbecue Show Live. We appreciate it. Well, he's right. That is the ultimate, the way to cook, Ricer. But I've done a whole hog, but I've never done it the old, Rodney Scott, method.
in a cinder block. How I learned how my dad and our butcher friend, Bob, they used to cook whole hogs, and they cooked them rotisserie though. Similar, we always started with some charcoal along the sides. They built it was a portable pit, and it was sheet metal. They would put stakes in the ground, and they'd hook up this rotisserie. Actually was 3 Ford 150s. I remember, because we had to go find another 150 drive shaft, and they'd hook three drive shafts together, and they'd put those whole hogs in, and we started out with charcoal, and then on the side we had a barrel where we started burning wood, and that's what we'd add. It's kind of the cinder block way, but not quite the same. But all that drip, when he was talking about the fat dripping and then coming on the coals, that's how we did it. And that's how I learned barbecue. That was my first experience as a very young kid, 8 years old, when I'm around Dad with all that stuff. So,
all right, hey, Jeff, hang on. We got to take our last break, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
You just hang in there, Jeff Rice from Dead Broke Barbecue, Wisconsin. We'll be right back with him and your questions. 267-1023. 3 lines open to serve you. We'll be right back. That is something I want to do this summer. Is get a I've done whole hog before, but I want to get a barrel and burn down my own coals and do it the old-fashioned way. I've watched several videos on it, and it's not rocket science. It's just hard. It's just hard work.
You got a encyclopedia as a friend in John Solberg that can help you do that.
Yeah, well, I could call John. You're right. I could call John.
Yeah.
And
he'll teach you how to do all that.
But
right?
That's how that's how the first thing I ever heard from John was how he makes his own charcoal.
Yeah. I want to do a video someday of making charcoal, just for fun, just for me, and actually just to share with some friends and family and all that. And I asked John if he'd help me, and he's like, "Jeff, you can do it easily, but of course I'll help you." You can hear John.
But
right?
I'm gonna this summer I want to do a build the cinder block pit and get the big 200 pounder out there and stay out there for 20 hours and cook a hog.
No, you don't.
Because I've got nothing better. I've got nothing else better to do.
I'm
not cooking it with the head on it though, and I'm not cutting the head off of it.
You can't do that.
I'm buying it without the head.
I'll cut that head off.
That just grosses me out.
Looks nice in presentations though when it's.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's disgusting.
Scares a lot of people. Scares a lot of people.
I don't like that.
No.
I don't like that at all.
That don't hurt me too bad.
Perry Collins on the chat. He says, "What are you cooking this weekend?" I don't know, Perry. I haven't decided yet. I did some Brunswick stew that turned out fantastic last weekend, or the weekend before last. I did a pork butt. We had a meeting at the house Monday night, and I did a pork butt for the meeting, and it turned out good, of course. Did it on the Green Mountain Grill. I don't know what I'll do this Sunday. I may do a couple of meatloaves. I did some macaroni too.
What do you say we do something tomorrow at the station?
Yeah, I could.
For the guys, cook something.
That'd be quick. Cook it quick. If you don't have lunch for these guys ready by 11:30, they start ordering pizzas.
I think I'm going to cook a prime rib. Watching that video behind there reminds me of the prime rib I did. So.
Yeah.
I got one in the freezer. Got to take it out maybe tonight.
The 102.3 WGOW FM.
Talk Radio 102.3.
Welcome back to the Barbecue Show live on Talk Radio 102.3. Our special guest, Jeff Ricer from Dead Broke Barbecue. If you want to see some good videos on different types of meats and different types of methods in barbecue, go to Dead Broke Barbecue on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the bell. Of course, that's what all those guys say. And you will enjoy Jeff's videos, I promise you. He's very entertaining, very knowledgeable. And the stuff that you turn out, Jeff, is just fantastic. Real quick, I want to thank Brad Shepard here in Ooltewah and Scott Musgrave in Ooltewah. They are the proud owners of Green Mountain Grill Daniel Boone Smokers. Both of these fine young men came in and bought those smokers today. And they'll be cooking the first time on the Green Mountain Grill this weekend. And I sure appreciate them coming in and buying their Green Mountain Grill Daniel Boone smokers at the Owl's Nest Barbecue Supply in Pro Shop. Al Selvage says I need an oil change. That's a different show, Al. Just hang on, okay? Hey, Hey, Rice, let me ask you something. What
Yeah.
do you have a barbecue store in where you live in your town?
Not in my town, but we've got one it's about a 35-minute drive away. It's the Meat Block. I will talk about that in some of my videos at time to time. Phil, the owner, and we got Josh over there that work with me. And yeah, good guys. It's a big store. They got Yoder in there, and they got Kamado Joe and Weber and all the rubs. The only one they don't have is the one that I'm pretty close with is Suckle Busters, but they got PS seasoning, and they got a lot of them though. So,
well, that's good. Do they sell meat? Do they sell meat as well?
Oh yeah.
Do they?
Oh yeah, everything. Wagyu, anything, duck. You can get any if it's made, you can eat it. Or they got it. You can get it from them. So they're actually going to be going online here pretty soon, and you might see some videos from my channel with them in the future here.
Do you real quick? We have 2 minutes left. Do they sell it fresh or frozen?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
My friend.
Typically,
your friend and mine, Ricer David Bosca says he likes meat better after it's been frozen.
Yeah, he's told me that, and it's I don't get the same quality of meat then as him because I don't mind cooking it. We always do, but I never feel that it's as good. Maybe it's just the person or the brain part.
I can't tell the difference. Jeff, I want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Tell people where we can find you on social media.
Well, you can find me at Dead Broke Barbecue on YouTube, and you can find me on Instagram at Dead Broke Barbecue. And I do have a Facebook page called Dead Broke Barbecue also. I'm not very active on Facebook, but there will be posts there still. But yeah, mainly YouTube. Come on over. I'll entertain you a little bit, and hopefully at the end we got a good cook.
And Jeff's show is on Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on YouTube. Dead Broke Barber. He calls it Tavern Talk. It is the absolute dumbest show you'll ever watch. I cannot miss it though. I have more fun with that show than any other show other than mine on the internet, Jeff. I love that show. You've got a great bunch of friends and a great bunch of characters on that show, and you do a great job with it. Folks, if you want to see a good time with barbecue and ask more questions, the Tavern Talk with Jeff Rice, Sunday nights at 8 on Dead Broke Barbecue. We got to go, Jeff. You hang on for our Facebook friends. Next week, Chris Bilbra from Spec Meats here in Ooltewah, our local butcher right here in Ooltewah. He'll be with us on the Barbecue Show Live. Until next week, folks, on the radio side, good night and good luck. Thanks, Joe. Everybody, thanks for sticking around on Facebook. We sure appreciate it. Jeff's going to spend a few more minutes with us. Jeff, that was a very, very lively little Q&A, and I appreciate you being here on the show. Al Selvage says he enjoys Ricer. We all do. Jeff does. Jeff does a fantastic, fantastic job. And Jeff, you had a good. Who was the guy from Jeff from Ricer's hometown? Jeff, you may know him. Speak to the mic now.
Well, Dave Craig.
Does that name sound familiar, Ricer?
Yep. Quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks was born here. Yep, my hometown.
Lane.
Yes, Austin Lane too. Yeah, he was a good boy. I was friends with his family. I am still, but I don't see him much because they don't all live here anymore. But yeah, Austin, good kid, smart, athletic. Big name. And
big
then
boy.
Dave Craig was only big kid. Yeah, yeah. In a very friendly boy, very, very, just a good kid. Dave Craig wasn't here for very long. He was born here, but he didn't live here very long. But Austin, yeah. And then we got the Welsh boy. He played for Iowa and Hawkeyes, and I don't remember who he's playing with now. Did he go to Baltimore Ravens? Maybe.
2015. He retired after he went to the Chicago Bears.
Austin.
Evanston,
Yeah.
Illinois, and then he moved to your town, Lola, that burgeoning town that in 2000 had 1,298 people in the census, and then in 2010 had 1,301. You gained a whole 3 people.
That's because Reister got married.
Yeah,
And his wife had a baby.
And his wife brought the kid with him.
Right. No,
you're the reason for the overpopulation in your town, Jeff.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, well, we live in a pretty small little town, but it's peaceful and it got a good school system, and yeah, we don't have to worry about a lot of stuff. We still leave our doors unlocked, unfortunately, and people are pretty trustworthy around here, but tight knit. The butcher that I was talking about is actually in Greenville, close to Appleton, but there's a bunch of butcher shops in Stevens Point. I live real close to Stevens Point, and that's basically, there's Ski's Meat Market, the People's Meat Market. I visit both of those. I like the People's Meat Market because they're down-home, family-ran place. There's been a couple videos that I've talked about them in there. The meat block is a very fancy barbecue butcher shop.
Okay.
Very fancy.
That's not interesting.
More in the back.
That's not interesting to anybody. Let's talk about something interesting.
Okay.
Mike McKim says meatloaf, he's 50-50 on it. I don't know how you can be 50-50 on meatloaf. It's so delicious when you cook it in a smoker. It's delicious when you cook it in the toaster oven. My buddy Perry Collins, who is a Green Mountain Grill owner now, he did some chili, smoked chili. Have you got a video in the archives on that, Jeff?
No, I don't, but I have a video with a plan on it. I have some interesting chili, ghost pepper type of stuff that I'm going to do eventually, but it's always finding time to do it. I'm not really the type of person that likes to do the videos of, all right, now I'm going to take this pot and I'm going to put it on a hot plate, and now I'm going to make this. I like to do the big proteins, and then say, now we'll make chili, but I will eventually. It's right here in the list. I'll snap a pic, but I have to do a chili video. Chili, we eat chili all the time. I just don't show it, but I am a smoked chuck chili lover. That's what I am.
Mm-hmm. I've done it one time. Jeff, you do a lot of chili, don't you?
I do quite a bit of chili. I have several different recipes I do.
Yeah.
I have to make it mild.
Beans or no?
Say what, Jeff?
Beans or no beans in your chili?
I do 3 different versions. I do beans, I do no beans, and I do a vegetarian one, depending on the time of year.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a bean. I think.
Yeah, I put beans in mine. I put beans in mine.
Yeah.
I love beans more than anything else. That's my preferred method.
I did mine with ground chuck, 80-20.
Same.
Yeah. I do too.
It was good. We did a show about it a couple weeks ago. Frank Blair, Frank makes great chili. Chili's one of those things. It's like barbecue.
Yeah, right.
I mean, there's a whole chili nation out there.
Oh yeah, chili comps all everywhere.
They're ready to throw down and fight. I thought the guy talking about the old style method of barbecue. The burning down your wood, making your coals, shoveling under a whole hog, and then a couple comments, we had in the chat room about, you can't beat the flavor of stick burner, and you're right. It is the best tasting barbecue that there is.
Right.
Second to none.
Right.
But the what's nice about the pellet cookers, Jeff, and we've talked about it before. If I get a notion on a Tuesday night to do 2 meatloaves and some macaroni to take to work with me the next day, you go outside on the back porch, you hit the button, you turn the smoker on, and you go inside and make it. When you go back, the smoker's at 350 degrees, and you get a flavor that is just it's better. It's not as good as a stick burner would be, but it's a lot better than being in the oven, isn't it?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. And that's where I am the first person to tell you that I prefer stick burners over a pellet, over charcoal, over anything when it comes to barbecue. Low and slow. I don't care if you do cook it hot and fast, but brisket, pork butt, that's still your best flavor. But you're right. My boys, you see them in my videos sometimes, they can literally now cook ribs. I can say, all right, because if I'm not making a video, sometimes they'll cook.
Mm-hmm.
And they can do it on the pellet grill. They can't do it in the Weber kettle. They can adjust the vents. If I go check to see what the temp is, they can do that, but they can't cook that. And they're 13 and 14 years old. But I can put them in the Pit Boss or the Smoke Daddy or the Oklahoma Joe's or any of those pellet grills that I've had, and they can go cook.
Yeah.
So that's the nice thing about it.
Yeah, they don't have to manage a fire. Jeff, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go.
You bet. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. And
it was so nice.
Had a lot of fun.
Spending time on your date night with your. I know your bride probably hates my guts, but I've got a long trail of women that hate me. So that's nothing new.
Steve, I gave her the checkbook, and she went shopping, so she's okay. Not a big deal.
Maybe she'll come home with a big diamond ring.
Maybe she could come home with a couple bags of charcoal, then that'd be fine. So.
That's a good wife there now.
That's right.
Say, charcoal, you're going to make your own diamond ring. I like that. See in 1,000 years.
That's right. Exactly.
Jeff, thank you so much. You have a great weekend, okay? Appreciate you spending that time with us. Everybody here on the Facebook side, you're my favorites. I got to tell you, you're still my faves. And I appreciate you spending time with me, Jeff Maxwell, and Aaron Carver, and on the radio side. And we'll see you back here next Friday night. Don't forget, Chris Bilbrough from Spec Meats right here in Ottawa. Ottawa's only hometown butcher is Chris Bilbrough, and he'll be with us next Friday night on the Barbecue Show Live right here on the Facebook page of Owl's Nest Barbecue. Until then, we'll see you.